Hello everyone and welcome to ReelQuick episode 57. Today is our monthly Q&A episode. To ask questions to be answered in our Q&As, drop over to our Patreon. It's in the description down below. At the very lowest of tiers, you are eligible to ask us questions. I have in front of me dozens and dozens of great questions from all of our patrons here, and we're just going to roll right through them. We're going to try to get through as many as we possibly can in this 30-minute window. So let's just jump right into it because we have tons of questions to get into. First up, this drops this week. This will be on Friday.
Okay, go check out merch, ReelTokPodcast.com.
Yeah, check out the merch. Check out the merch on ReelTokPodcast.com. First up, we're going to start with Dylan Chip because we found out, I know pretty much all of us, I think, follow basketball a little bit more than I think our viewers expect based on some tweets. I saw George posted a bracket recently about NBA on TikTok. So what is your favorite NBA team if you had to pick one? And he says, and why is it the Brooklyn Nets? It's absolutely not the Brooklyn Nets for me. George, we'll start with you because Brooklyn's not your team, right? Is it the Knicks?
No,
or who is it?
I don't know. I don't follow NBA as closely as I think a lot of people do. I definitely am more of a casual NBA viewer. However, and I hate saying this, I didn't get into NBA until the Warriors dynasty began. So I've just been on the bandwagon like crazy. I'm a super Warriors bandwagon fan, but all of my college roommates are huge Knicks fans. So I'll call myself a little Knicks fan as well.
Seth, who's your favorite NBA team?
So when I watched NBA, it was Knicks. When I watched NBA, It was weird because I remember exactly why I chose it. I had a friend at school who was a fan of the Knicks, and the first NBA game I watched when I was probably 14 was a Knicks game. And then when I was into NBA, when I used to stay up and watch it like I do now for UFC, it was always the Knicks who I looked out for first. So I'd say, and this was Knicks This was the Knicks when they were going through the first rebuild, when it was just Melo who was carrying the team, and they were not making playoffs and they were really bad. This was this period.
Dedicated fan.
I wouldn't say that. 2015. Was it 2015? Around that time, I think. So yeah, I'd go with the Knicks, but I don't really watch it anymore anyway.
Cam, is yours the Pacers?
Yeah. No, for most sports teams like this in the NFL, I guess my number, it's the Bulls/Bears. So I was born in Chicago. I couldn't give less of a shit about the NBA. I follow it, and I know who all the good players are, and I know who's won. I know the Nuggets won last night against the Lakers. They're up 3-0. I know what's going on. I check it the next morning. Couldn't give a shit about the NBA though. I'm a basketball purist where I just say they don't play defense, but it's just not fun to watch for me. So I'm a college basketball fan. But if I were to pick, it would be Bulls and then Pacers. Just like for NFL, it'd be Bears then Colts, but they're like a 1A, 1B kind of thing.
For me, it's the Dallas Mavericks. Luka Doncic is one of the biggest superstars in the league who just always has so much fun playing the game. And then they traded for Kyrie Irving from Brooklyn Nets, who was just a locker room cancer. And he blew up the Mavericks. And Luka literally was in press conferences saying I don't even have fun playing basketball anymore. And he's the most happy-go-lucky guy there is. So Kyrie Irving has ruined the Mavericks beyond repair. So NBA sucks for me. Moving on to the next question from Cash the Butcher. Most overrated horror film. The first one that pops in your mind. I'll just quickly just say It because I've recently watched it. Never rates a 4-star, and I think it stinks. But Seth, you got one.
Blair Witch Project, 100%.
Stop, bro. Stop.
George, I could sense it. No, what I will say.
Stop with this nonsense.
I don't like. No, what I will say is that I think. I don't like saying overrated because I know why people like it. I understand why people like it. I know a lot of people love it. I just kind of hate it. Or I know I do hate it. And I know it's not that highly rated, actually. So it's not that much of a hot take. But yeah, I kind of hate it.
Well, watch your back because when you try to say Blair Witch Project, your mic lagged out and your internet cut out for a second. So I think there's some spirits in the world that are not happy with that pick. George, what's the most overrated horror movie?
I don't know. I feel like I have a fairly bland taste in horror. I don't think I have any horror hot takes that would really bother anyone. I don't love the first Friday the 13th, the OG original, but I know a lot of people don't, so it's not really a hot take. I know there's a huge cult following around Dream Warriors, which I think is just horrific. The first Orphan movie I think is piss poor.
Oh, really?
I don't think it's good at all. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really have any crazy hot takes. Maybe the original It I don't love.
Oh, the original. I don't know.
Yeah, like the super original It, the one with Tim Curry. I don't particularly love that movie. Obviously, like M. Night's Old has like a really cult following. Didn't like that too much. But yeah, I don't know. I'm like trying to look through my like horror ranking right now to like find something that would like piss people off, but like it's pretty reserved.
Do you know what you should do?
I think
By average, and then just look what you've rated as well.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea.
I think I'm with you, George. I'm pretty reserved in the horror category. Mostly just I haven't seen a ton of horror. I've seen 83 that are listed as it, but I would say my number one. Also, Tyler, yours is definitely The Shining, not It. Like yours is The Shining. That's
but I think I give it like a 4-star though. Still, so.
Oh, I thought you gave it like a 3. Here's a out there pick, but I'm gonna go with Blade, the original Blade.
Oh, really?
It's a good hot
take. Yeah, y'all. Well, so I have it at a 3.5.
Hasn't it got lower than a 3.5?
Probably. People talk about this like it's one of the best movies ever, and I think it's just the fact that I have no. Okay, maybe not one of the best movies ever. Sorry, one of the best superhero movies ever, or comic book movies. And I just have it so low on that list, probably way lower than most. So I'd say Blade is maybe my answer, or I could also go with Evil Dead, which I didn't love, but I don't think it's bad. I have a 60.
Tyler could go with Evil Dead 2, actually. Definitely.
Yeah, that's true. Evil Dead franchise, Shining. I guess those could be my hot takes, but it's not like I'm saying those are overrated. I'm just saying they're more not my cup of tea, I guess. But Jordan Gag asked, "What is your biggest pet peeve?" I'm gonna go to Seth first.
Seth's gonna list out a million.
Man, people are just
loud chewers.
Oh, God. Do you know what one that's been bothering in a minute that I see on TikTok? ASMR videos.
Oh, stop! I hate
like,
those.
Don't watch those.
Yeah. Here, man. I don't want to hear
the one of like people eating. Oh, horrific!
It makes me really angry. People eating loudly, eating with their mouth open. That's the big one for me. I would say that one. Any like that.
Cam, what's your biggest pet peeve?
Yeah, biggest pet peeve for me is an unclicked pen. So when people leave a pen sitting around that's not clicked.
Are you kidding me?
No, like that's genuinely a thing I really dislike.
That's so funny.
That's such a weird.
That's such a out of like.
That's just something I can think of right now. I mean, obviously, I don't like when people like chew loudly, but I feel like that's a fairly simple answer. Not to call you out.
Sorry for being basic.
No, I'm just saying like that's
being basic.
Sorry.
I personally don't like when people leave a pen unclicked. It really pisses me off.
George.
It just irks me. Oh, also not a pet peeve, but I have to watch anything at or listen to music at like a 5. So it has to be like 15, 20, 25, 30. Can't be anywhere. That's not a pet peeve. But that's
not a pet peeve. That's just
it's just a weird thing.
That's just a tick.
A lot of people do that, don't
they? My pet peeve. I don't know if it's my biggest pet peeve, but now that I live in the city, it's definitely more prominent in my life, and that's slow walkers on the sidewalk. Or large groups of people that like walk like next to each other
in an airport as well. Yeah.
It's my literally least favorite thing in the world.
I take that back. My answer is bikers on the road. The same thing but different. But bikers on the road, you can all go fuck yourselves in the nicest possible way. I understand you're getting exercise. I understand the sidewalks aren't big enough, but I will run you over. I'm not actually going to run anyone over, but
there's going to be one Sunday where Cam doesn't pull up to a ReelTok episode because he's in jail for murder. Vehicular manslaughter and road rage.
I'm like friends with a couple people that are bikers, and they're like, well, we can't do this or this or this. And I'm like, I get it. I understand, but you're going 15 miles per hour. And also Indiana is a pretty like suburban area. We have a lot of bike paths that people don't use, and it's frustrating.
There are a ton.
For me, it's just like people talking in any social situation where you shouldn't be talking. So like in meetings at work, it's happening a ton, like a big conference room, and people will be having like a sidebar conversation in the middle of the meeting. Yeah, it just like makes me boil. Like obviously in a movie theater, people are talking at all. In college lecture halls or classrooms, if anyone's talking while the professor's talking, no matter what, like it makes my skin crawl, and I just want to like get up and just shake anyone and just remove their vocal cords from their throat. Next question from Sean Morales. What is a movie that, as you've gotten older, you might have loved it when you were younger, but you rewatched when you got older and you kind of got ruined for you? For me, it's kind of like every comedy, pretty much. Like Benchwarmers, I remember having a ton of fun with as a kid. Pretty much anything like when I was a teen, like stuff like Dinner for Schmucks and stuff like that. I was like, ate that up. It's hilarious. And then I rewatched them older. I'm like, they're fine, but nothing more than just like fine. But yeah, a lot of comedies I just think are just not good. Now, like Talladega Nights, I probably thought was one of the funniest things ever when I first saw it. Now it's just like very okay. So really, just all comedies kind of get ruined for me as I gotten older. Seth, any come to your mind for you?
Yeah, I don't think comedies are there for me because if I had such a good time with them when I was a kid, I'll go into it with that mindset now and I'll still be able to like enjoy it. Like The Haunted Mansion or Click, for example, I'll still enjoy it just as much. I think a big one for me that I tried to rewatch a couple of years ago when COVID hit was the first Narnia film. Man, that I used to love the Narnia films when they first came out. Well, when I was probably like 10, 12, whatever, 13, and they just, really not very good when I rewatched it. Really not very good at all.
George?
I'll probably go. I don't know. I feel like Sharkboy and Lava Girl is like a stupid answer.
That shit bangs though. Sharkboy and Lava Girl is great.
It doesn't. Same with like Sky High. That shit is not good. But no, one comedy is I feel like the obvious answer here. One that just I still find it funny, and maybe it's just because I've seen it so many times, it doesn't hold up as well. But that's Step Brothers.
God, you're an idiot.
I used to have Step Brothers at a 5 out of 5.
It is a 5 out of 5.
Yeah, it doesn't hold up like as well for me anymore. It's still hilarious. I still love watching it, but like I don't know, and maybe it's just because I've seen it so many times.
Yeah, that's fair. Easy answer is comedies. Most specifically, I loved Benchwarmers, like you mentioned, Tyler. I loved Kicking and Screaming, which I still have a real fond memory
I still like
of
Kicking and Screaming.
I think I do too. I have a 3 out of 5. I don't hate it as much as like Benchwarmers. I think is real bad. But another one, like just any dumb action movie I used to love, probably like especially the Transformers. I think Transformers Dark of the Moon was probably my favorite movie as a kid growing up. I've mentioned it before. I think it's one of the 3 movies that I owned on my like iPod. So that Benchwarmers and the SpongeBob SquarePants movie.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, that shit holds up, man. That shit holds up.
Ridiculous answer.
But I love Transformers Dark of the Moon as a kid, and now I just can't. It's just all of the Transformers hurt me physically, but those specifically I loved. Also, Get Smart, loved that movie as a kid. It's not great now, but loved it as a kid.
Next question is kind of a two-parter from 2 different people. We'll kind of combine into one. So first, Max Wilson asks, who has the most devious fit on right now? I'm just wearing a plain black shirt and a Dallas Stars hat. Shout out Stars playing Game 2 against the Vegas Golden Knights tonight.
I got Jurassic Park.
Cam's got Jurassic Park pants.
Is that your devious fit jumper, Cam? Is that the
I have a bunch of different like just no brand sweatshirts, so I always just throw one of those on and call it a devious fit. Which this one, I believe this one was a Fast
This
X
is the one.
So
this
was the Fast X sweatshirt. The one that went like did really well is a different one. I can't remember, but
the viral devious fit.
That was the funniest one.
It was not viral
in the world. You said cooked up this devious fit for the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 premiere.
Damn right I did. I thought my one yesterday was pretty fun. It was a rain or shine devious fit.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, you need it once your merch comes in. We got to get some pictures of you in the devious fits of wearing different merch, and we'll get those all up on the website.
Yep, those will all be on. I'll just be the model, and it's just me standing in a corner of my house.
But yeah, it was a 2-part question because Ben, his last name's not listed on the comment section, so just Ben, either Leggy, Hansy, Vetch, one of the 3. Why does Cam Walsh always wear the best fits? So you kind of named it. If it's not ReelTok merch, sounds like unbranded sweatshirts. Having unbranded sweatshirts in rotation is kind of the move.
Just and Tyler saw my order. I ordered a lot of merch. And Tyler saw it. It's just
we saw your order as well.
Yeah, sweatshirts and crew necks, man. That's my style, I guess. But I think it's mostly just because I'm like 120 pounds soaking wet. So like if I can just cover up as much as my body, perfect. But yeah, that's my style.
That was really sad.
That was
it's fine. It's fine. I can make fun of myself. It's okay.
Awakening.
I like sweatshirts and I like crew necks a lot. So that's my style.
Owen, Owen asks, out of the four of you, who would win in a foot race? So I'm 100% getting last. So that's a fact.
Hook you guys.
I think 10 years ago I would have won,
fucking
but now I'm
fast.
too top heavy.
I
10
think
years ago I had it.
I think I could still have you on maybe like 100 meter. Anything past 101 meter, I'm huffing and puffing. Just
anything past 10 meters now.
yeah,
I don't think I'm making it.
I am so unathletic now.
Probably George or Cam, I would say.
I do want to mention.
I'm not actually fast.
Okay, so
I do.
I'm fast. I could move. You never
I can move, but I can't.
You never seen me on a Stairmaster, bro. I'm full speed.
Oh God,
Stairmaster.
So who are we saying officially? What are we saying? Cam?
I'm going with Cam. I'm going with Cam.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll look.
Cam's got less body weight to drag.
I do want to mention the only athletic thing I've done in my life this week. I had like a 330-yard drive, and I on a par 4 hit the green 2-putt birdie. No big deal. Just want to flex that real quick. Just want to.
I don't know what that means.
It's a golf thing.
Jax Kendrick asks, if you, other than the state you're living in right now, if you had to move, what state would you move to? And then for Seth specifically, what other European country would you move to other than England? Nope. So start with Seth. What other country other than England?
100%, 100% Norway or Denmark. I actually want to live there, to be fair. So I don't know when, but
dude, come to New York, bro. Live here.
I'm not living in the US. I don't want to live there.
Because we're sick.
We can go to brewing.
Norway.
I'll come and visit.
I would move to Norway, honestly. I genuinely would.
What's the question?
Where would you move?
So Seth says Norway or Denmark, but for us Americanos, what state would you live in if you had to move? For me, it's easy, like Texas, which I would move. I'm going to be moving back to.
Texas, interesting.
I mean, I lived there for 4 years and I liked it.
Another country, you have to choose a state. Because I chose another country.
Well, it said for what state for us, and it said Seth, what country for you other than.
Oh, okay.
If I were going another country,
Florida.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to Florida. Just chill.
You're not old enough for that, man.
I think I am.
If I were going to another country, it would be Australia. But if I were going to another state, it would be North Carolina.
If I was going to another country.
What about Maine?
Maybe Greece. Maine is cold year round.
What about like Montana with all the cows and shit?
No TikTok there.
You got
exactly.
Can't
go to Montana. Can't go to Montana.
You'd be fucked.
Yeah, can't go to Montana.
Okay, next up we have from Stefan Johnson, which is a good question because I think his description of what the answer is has gotten changed a lot in the last year. How would you describe a film bro? Because I feel like that's a term that's gotten very different lately. George, what's a film bro?
I still describe it the same way. I don't change my definition of a film bro. It's just people that enjoy, the Nolans of the world, the Dark Knights, the Interstellars, and I don't know, maybe they don't engage with film as much as like some pretentious NYU major would, and they just have a kind of, I'm trying to word this in the nicest way possible because I am describing myself right now.
It's a common taste, not a bad taste.
Hey, it's just a common taste.
I don't know. You just enjoy good movies and people get mad at you. That's a film, bro.
Yeah, it's George Carmi just looking the bear.
It's just me.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think we all agree, yeah.
I think the definition has changed like crazy because I saw film bro being used as like someone who likes like quote unquote like old black and white movies that don't like have any words or whatever, and I'm like okay, so now we're just using it for everyone. Film bro, in my opinion, though, are just people that like Christopher Nolan, Martin Scorsese, and just popular movies, which is like it's me. So but I'm like I'm not strong enough to be a film bro. I think you have to be beef too. That's George Carmi.
I don't think there's any fitness requirements for being a film bro.
You have to be able to bench at least 225.
There is
fitness
requirements, I think.
I think we all agree. It's like the Christopher Nolan type movies of the world, the IMDb top 100s of the world, but it's gotten misused. I think a lot of people have been starting to use it wrong, but that we all maintain the same correct description of it. Okay. Next question from Tad and Bougie. If there was a romantic comedy to be made based off you and your significant other, who would you choose to direct that movie? I'm going to go Richard Linklater. Just because.
Sorry, say
Yeah,
the question again.
later.
Someone directing my life.
Who would you want to direct a movie about you and Victoria? A rom-com about you and Victoria.
Adam.
Can it be a rom? Does it have to have the com? I mean, that's the question.
It says romantic comedy.
Okay.
So I guess I need to change my answer because Literature Linklater hasn't really made a rom-com before. So I'd think someone else.
Edgar Wright.
Ooh,
I'll go
I
with
mean,
Edgar
yeah,
Wright.
that's just you love yourself some Edgar Wright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with
English.
I'm gonna go with One Car Why. Just throw out something that shows I'm not a film bro.
A rom-com.
Just pander like crazy. No. I mean, my life's not a comedy.
Hey, anyone can direct the rom-com.
Yeah. You know what? Fuck it. I'm picking Cam Walsh. Direct my movie, bro.
I will. I can do that for you. I can do that for you very easily. I'm going Adam McKay because it's simple. He'd write it the best.
Your life would be a satirical comedy then.
That is my life. So perfect. I haven't taken one thing serious in my life. So perfect. That is it for me.
Marcellus asks, who is your guys' celebrity lookalike? Who have people told you that you look like before?
I hate this question.
Yeah. It's always weird to like compare yourself to who people have said.
I've gotten Anderson Cooper a couple times.
Anderson Cooper, that's a fun pull. That's like a kind of a fun pull.
That
doesn't make me feel
good pull.
People have said Ryan Gosling too.
Who's Anderson Cooper?
He's like a talk.
Oh
he was a
oh
talk
yeah, I see that. But
interesting pull.
I got that as a kid a lot, which didn't make me feel great.
One,
I don't know.
That's
I
not
don't
a bad one.
I don't know.
Seth, who have you gotten compared to?
So I've gotten, admittedly, an uglier version. Jack O'Connell.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say.
Is that guy who has the weird law in? No, that's not who I'm thinking of.
So it's Jack O'Connell. He's like George 71, for example.
Yeah, 71.
I know.
I think it's just the facial hair and the hairstyle. Maybe I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't seen this one, but I get on TikTok. I think actually someone commented a less good-looking version of Richard Madden, which made me feel really good. Actually,
that's pretty nice. I think you look like Jack Rayner.
Who's that?
He's in Sing Street Midsummer, and he's also the guy who had the weird Jack Romeo and Juliet law from Transformers.
The Midsummer guy. Okay, kind of get that.
Yeah,
do you think
it's a good-looking dude?
He's got a square face though. He's got quite a round face. I don't think I've got that round a face. Huh?
I don't know. He's a good-looking dude. I'd take the compliment, man. It's not Anderson Cooper.
No, I'll take it. I don't mind that one.
George, who you got?
I don't know. I don't got. People always comment on my TikToks who just like have beards, and they're like, "You look like this guy," and I'm like, "No, I don't. We just both have beards."
No, I don't.
I could see it. I don't know. Like I've had people comment like Dak Prescott on my videos, and I'm like, bro, we just have a beard. Less ugly version. My last day at work, actually, my last job, I introduced myself to one of the tech guys because I had to return my laptop, and he actually goes, "The funniest thing in the world." He goes, "Dude, you look like that dude. You look like that dude who played Batman, Henry Cavill." And I'm like,
nice.
You're wrong on two ends there.
I mean, I would take that and run with it, mate.
I told a lot of people about that. I was really happy with that
comparison. Are you going to grow your beard out again, George? Because it used to be very much.
It used to be very long. I don't know. I like to keep it clean for work. The only reason I had it grown out as much as it was like last summer or 2 summers ago is because I was working from home. Like COVID had our office closed, so I didn't have to go in. But I don't know. Now that I'm in the office, I keep it at a 1 or a half.
When I worked at a movie theater when I was like 15, it was when Fault in Our Stars came out. When I was younger, people always said I looked like Ansel Elgort. But now it depends. If I have my beard, I get Jack Harlow or Alfie or I don't know, Alfie something, the guy who plays Theon Greyjoy. So I get Jack Harlow and that dude.
Jack Harlow.
I could see that.
And then whenever I shave, I get Harry Styles, which I never see, but I think it's just a long hair.
Harry Styles is a stretch.
Yeah, I get it often. You can ask Riley.
I get comments every so often from people who, I guess, like just don't know like that me and Seth are friends, and they always say like, "You kind of look like that Seth Film Reviews guy."
Me?
I get those. I get those comments every so often.
They're just looking at your abs.
But again, I'm like, it's just because we have a beard, bro.
I feel like the beard
it's not
effect
even
is
the same
true though.
colour
Like
beard.
when someone has a beard, everyone just says you look like
No,
everyone else
the
with a
beard
beard.
effect is real.
Yeah,
It
that's
really
fair.
is, yeah.
Let's
That's
see. Next up here. What was your favorite and least favorite subject at secondary school / high school?
Secondary school.
Favorite was probably math because I'm a weirdo.
I'll go
That's so
physical
weird.
education.
Yeah, PE.
I mean, if I could, yeah, choose PE, like or
Physical
TM,
education.
Is it called PE? I didn't even know it was called PE though.
Yeah, PE.
physical
It
education.
was like gym class or something.
Yeah,
Isn't it
gym
called
class.
Gym class.
Gym
Do you
class
guys? Did you
heroes.
guys do wrestling in like?
No.
No.
That is a thing that people do in the US, isn't it? Though.
Like-
In
Like
school.
wrestling is a thing that people can
No,
do, but not in
well,
school. No.
Really? Oh, interesting. I thought I was taught in schools and stuff.
Least favorite was definitely history. I'm not a history
Oh,
guy.
That was one of my favorites. I love.
Not a history guy. Couldn't give a shit.
I got least favorite physics, and favorite history or physical or PE. One of the two.
I liked math a lot.
That's boring.
I don't like it anymore. I know.
Yeah,
I was an engineer, man. Leave me be.
the most nerdy answer possible, but I don't really have like a subject I outright just like hated. But I'd say the least favorite was probably like science, which is weird because I'm an engineer, but it was just always the most frustrating. Like I feel like if you
Science
don't have
was
an
always
answer
fun
right-
though.
It depends which science was fun.
Science class, I think, was fun because you get a lot of
Chemistry
cool like
was fun.
experiments and stuff. But science homework was
Chemistry.
always the most frustrating because I feel like it was like if you if you solved it and you like couldn't get the answer right, then it's like super frustrating. You have to like restart everything and.
That's fair.
But my favorite probably like I really liked English honestly, but history, math, all of it honestly. I don't know. I didn't really hate school.
I hated English too.
You're
I
in high
can't
school
read. I can't
till
read.
18, aren't you?
Yeah.
Then you go to college after that. Okay,
Yeah, so like 14 to 18ish.
Yeah, I haven't had education since I was like 16, so I can't really. Yeah, I don't really want.
Really?
Yeah. I worked straight after school. We finished.
Yeah,
school
but yeah, I didn't know like you were till 6. I didn't know that's how like the school like worked at.
you can do like college or sixth form, which is like an extra 2 years of school, extra education. But I didn't do that. Didn't want to.
6.
George, what's your favorite and least
Learning
favorite
so much.
subject?
I mean, without like actually including
Finance.
physical education. Stop. I don't know. I did like math a lot. I actually started college as a math major, but dropped it very quickly because I realized I don't like math. But in high school, I did enjoy math. Least favorite, I don't know. I hated like science. I hated like world history, especially American history. That shit was so boring. Yeah, I'll probably go with those as my answers. But physical education, we'll toss on top.
All right. Next question, which will probably be our last question we answer today. Taco's Rule Con asks, what is the most excited you've ever been for a movie that was coming out? George.
The most excited I've ever been for a movie coming out. That's a great question. I'm like really, really excited like this year for Across the Spider-Verse and Oppenheimer, but like I don't know if those are my top two. I feel like Endgame is probably my number one. Like I watched that trailer a million times. My level of excitement for Endgame was out of control. The most, I think Endgame. I really do. I was watching the Endgame trailer 4 times a day. I was so excited for Endgame just because of how much I loved Infinity War. But like obviously just this year alone, like Dune 2, Oppenheimer, Across Spider-Verse, like those are my 3 most anticipated movies of like the last like since Endgame probably.
Yeah, I feel like for me, like Oppenheimer, like is it coming close to like as hype as I've ever been for a release. But I'd probably say the Batman. I was like so hyped for the Batman to come out.
Oh yeah, the Batman 2 is up there for me.
Cam?
Seth lost power. So we're doing most excited we've been for a movie. Definitely Endgame, but also definitely The Force Awakens.
Oh yeah, that's up there for me too.
That kind of hype unrivaled anything for me, especially when I was in high school. I was a little weirdo, which I still am. But yeah, Force Awakens is probably number one. Trying to think of maybe a movie I was super hyped for that wasn't like Star Wars or nerd-esque. Like off the top of my head, I really don't know. Dune, I was pretty excited for just because like the hype, but that's kind of nerd-esque. It's basically Star Wars.
Just better.
Yeah, then some. Yeah, then I'll give you this. It's better. It's better than most.
Than most.
It's literally better than most. I'll give you that. I don't know. Can't think right now, but yeah, Pitch Perfect.
Stop. Fuck up.
Well, we will leave it there. That is the 30-minute mark. Seth lost power, so we're gonna. Or here, Cam, just answer for Seth. Make up a movie. This is officially Seth's most excited he's ever been.
The Hobbit, probably. He probably got hyped for the Hobbit.
He got hyped for the Hobbit. Yeah,
I would assume he got excited for it.
That's a good logical answer. Barry Lyndon, yeah, that was jokes.
I'm gonna answer for Seth too and say Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
I think he's really excited for Killers of the Flower Moon. He's like really pumped for that, or what's like a movie of that nature. Yeah, got a trailer reaction.
A trailer reaction.
Probably be well excited for. So Killers of the Flower Moon probably is the answer.
Well, look at that. You answer the question very wholesomely and earnestly. But that wraps up
Barry Lyndon, of course.
There you go. That wraps up our episode of the Q&A for this month. If you want to be able to ask us questions for next month, go over and check out our Patreon tiers and the links down below. Hope you enjoyed this episode of us answering all your questions. And yeah, that does it for ReelQuick episode 57, and we will see you in the next one.